What's up, motherfuckers? It's Shuffling the Deck. I'm actually swerving this on Sean right now.
I don't know.
We're talking Shaggy 2 Dope's new record, A Bunch of Fucks Off in the Mystery Machine, or something like that. Oh, boy. He didn't say the F slur once. Congrats, Shags 2 Dope. You've matured.
James thinks he's swerving me. I've listened to the album 3 different times.
Whoa.
And I have a lot of hard and hot opinions on this episode of Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling,
Ooh,
baby.
You gotta listen to it 3 times, though, Sean, because you have the red cover, you have the rainbow cover, you know, for our LGBTQ juggalos out there, and you have
slurs.
And you have the fuchsia cover.
Ooh, and that's for the gym leader, Koga, and his poison-type Pokemon?
Oh, yeah, and for when you're looking up your neighbor's dress to check out her color of panties. We saw a play last night, and that was a focal point within the play, was the
Fuchsia-colored?
Yes, the color of a character's underwear.
What play was this?
Right now.
Oh, okay. I don't know it, but I love panties. And I love Lucha Underground, which is what we watch on this podcast, and we talk about it. You may have gathered from context clues. My name is Sean. Hey, how you doing?
I'm James, failed rapper, but still trying, Marshland Monster.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, hey, real quick, James is great. I am great. Make sure you're following us along. Join the Patreon, listen to the albums, give us kisses and hugs because we love you so much. We just do. And we make good shit.
Sean, we're burying the lead. You're no longer on strike, baby.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I'm probably not going back to work. I like my job. I don't know, man. I need to it still feels sketchy as hell as if you're new to the podcast, hey, how you doing? We do talk about wrestling, but also in addition, James loves to bring up the fact that I would do background work for local Chicago films and TV shows.
Professional actor Sean Marciniak.
Yeah, as long as I don't have lines and you don't want me being in focus on camera, professional actor.
Oh, you were never
in focus. Oh no, I was featured. I was featured.
A featured extra. There we go. That's what you call him.
I think the best thing I've ever did. Not the best thing I ever did. I have a son. I don't.
The best thing you ever did was Shuffling the Deck, the Pendulum episodes.
Yeah. Wait, which one were the Pendulum episodes?
The comic book that no one listened to.
It's the only ICP media I enjoyed.
Yeah, and even people in the comic industry. I work at a comic book store now, and someone said, wow, I met an individual who their favorite comic book series was Insane Clown Posse's The Pendulum.
Yeah, if you're interested in our takes on it, go back there and listen to the episode.
Please.
And truly, would recommend that comic series. I think it's very good. But just to not get crazy sidetracked, I don't, as a low-end background actor, and that Chicago background actors prior to this new deal were not supported by SAG-AFTRA, were not included in the SAG-AFTRA stuff. So it feels, I don't know what the deal actually is yet. I should probably read it. I don't know if it's out there, but and how it relates specifically to Chicago background, because it still feels very sketchy, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like they signed a deal, and I don't think Chicago background got protected in it, you know?
Well, you just got to work yourself to the foreground or behind the camera. Be one of those SAG people.
That's true. However I do it, I will approach it with no fear. That's right. I will approach it with Cero Miedo, baby. We are on season 2, episode 4 of Lucha Underground, and it's fucking cool. It's good. Is it? Yeah.
This episode ruled. I'm back in it of, wow, every single story beat, vignette we got, and every single match is fucking awesome. We're not introducing new characters like the first 3 episodes had to do. I'm fine with that. Still great wrestling, but every single part, awesome.
Very exciting. Lot of lot of backstage segments, which I think is kind of true for season 2 across the board.
Oh, I thought it was a lot of vagina.
lot of fudge. What? It's like a vagina made out of fudge. Like a chocolate vagina. It's a fudge-gina.
I'm just referencing Austin Powers, Shagadelic.
Yeah. And
Sean, you've seen Austin Powers, right?
I thought you were going to ask me if I've ever seen a fudgina.
No.
No, I haven't. But I hear they're cool. I've seen Austin Powers.
Okay.
And vaginas.
Okay.
Sometimes at the same time.
Oh, yeah. You gotta just be eating out while Austin Powers is on in the background so you can really get down with, oh, I'm fat bastard. And you call your cock that and she swoons, man.
Yeah. You ever, when he's on the TV screen or the computer screen and he's saying, do I make you Randy, baby? And then you look up and you're like, well, answer the question. And then she's taken out of the moment entirely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I watch Austin Powers and I jerk off, but not right now. Right now, I'm watching Lucha Underground Season 2, Episode 4, Cero Miedo, baby.
With face acting so great, you're not going to masturbate. You're just going to be in awe at Evil Lisa's talent. Oh my God, in this beginning segment, her face acting, especially just as a normal actor, fucking great. But for wrestling... What are you trying to prove, Evilise? Huh? You're trying to make everyone look bad? That's what's going on here.
It's so... We'll break down the segment. Should we break down the segment first, or should we, like... Because I have some thoughts about it as well. And, like, with acting.
Real quick, on a scale of Sarah Michelle Gellar to... a child in a tokusatsu property like a Godzilla, the facial acting is pretty close to Sarah Michelle Gellar.
She's great. Well, okay. So I think especially when AEW came out as an alternative to WWE in America, which we've talked a lot. I have a lot of strong opinions about WWE having a monopoly over wrestling in America.
I loved it.
It's so good. No, we should give billionaires more power because they know what to do with it.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Daddy Bezos.
Shout outs to Taylor Swift, new billionaire wrecking the world.
Oh, man, I can't wait till Taylor Swift is a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Billionaires are evil. But one of the exciting things about an alternative in America and it being AEW is that they weren't using scripts that you could have. And like there are some great things to be said about wrestlers not having a script before television. Austin 316 is a famously unscripted moment that gave us one of the coolest t-shirts in the history of t-shirts, not just wrestling t-shirts. And that's like Big Dog, Affliction. There's a lot of hot competition in the t-shirt market.
Maybe Moe and Curly from the Three Stooges, you know, interesting t-shirts. You gotta ask Violent J. Ask him if Austin 316's the best in the world.
Hell yeah! And you gotta listen to Shuffling the Deck to catch all these hot references, Daddy.
On Fuego. In the same feed, you don't even need to go to another place. Just scroll down.
I bring that up, and I bring up how exciting it was to have like wrestling on television that is unscripted again. To say though, but there is merit. And I think I forgot the merit of, I think this segment here is clearly scripted. Like this is shot like a scene in a movie, or it's shot very professionally. And I think it pays off though. Like again, Evilise is acting her ass off. Katarina has been fucking acting, like is a force, a malevolent force in the pit of my soul that makes me feel things I didn't know existed. By scripting this out, and they have this running mercy sort of theme to this segment, like it's a great script. Like I think that's the thing. When wrestling fans complain about wrestling being too scripted, it's because the scripts were very bad in WWE. This
terrible.
Is a great. So like, but to see like, it's wild to see a good script being performed well with a lot of heat into it. So let's actually break down the segment.
Yeah, and about the scripts in WWE, you want to know who would agree that they were shit? Both the wrestlers and the writers.
Everyone except for one weird bastard who just sold all of his, or not all of his shares, like 30% of his shares. God, I fucking hate Vince McMahon. He's not good at television or person. Fuck Vince McMahon. Let's get into season 2, episode 4. Evilise storms into Katarina's office. Katarina reminds Evilise of the mercy that Mill showed her last week by virtue of her just being able to walk today. The baddest bitch in the building, which is a fucking killer nickname, Ivelisse wants a trios match against the Disciples of Death, just like they wanted last week. But no, again, Katarina reminds Ivelisse that there are no former championship rematch clauses. The Odd Throuple has to earn a match with the champs because the division's fucking hot right now.
Oh, yeah. Also, the fact that they're still calling them in the team that comprised of Angelico, Son of Havoc, and Ivelisse, give them the Odd Throuple. The fact that they weren't like, hey, the crew had a name. The crew in Chavo, that rolls off the tongue a little bit more. Maybe they'll call it Chavo's the Crew.
I kind of like Chavo's the Crew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I want to get into it more in the match because that is a very good point that becomes super apparent when the match starts. But real quick, Ivelisse accepts the match, reminds Katarina that she's coming for that ass, no mercy. And also letter openers fuck. Like, such a good segment. Great fucking script. And so many, like, wrestling usually doesn't get nuances because nuance gets in the way of viscerality. I think it's Kant. It's a old philosopher that sort of talked about you can have something very nuanced and layered and it's, you know, it's very exciting, but it's in a very clever way. But if you want like that emotional gut punch, you want to feel shit, you take out the nuance, you take out all those layers and you can just be. And this segment does both though. Like there's a lot going on. The Odd Throuple want their trios back. That's the only reason they came back to the temple. Mm-hmm. They didn't come here for a single goal. They came back together. Yeah. And there's this layer now of like, well, Katarina, I didn't want to kick your ass. I just wanted my belts. Now I need to murder you though. Yeah. Like Ivelisse needs to murder. And like, there's so much going on, but it still is just this fucking undercurrent of a very simple want. We finally got on the same page and we want to be friends and champions together. And you, Katarina, you made this personal.
Also, it's Katrina.
Katrina, I'm sorry.
And you noticed she licked that letter opener and stabbed it into the ground. You know why she did that, right?
Because letter openers fuck.
Well, they should have been zoomed out a little bit more. She had to lick it to warm it up because she was stabbing it into a scoop of ice cream.
Oh, well, that's wholesome.
Yeah. Much like at a Cold Stone Creamery or a Baskin Robbins 26 flavors, they added some.
Ooh, nice.
They warm up the little scooper. She had to do that with her mouth so it cuts in like butter.
Yeah, and we got to cut into the desk as Vampiro and Matt Stryker, Vampiro Insensible Thermo, welcomes us to the temple, not church.
It's not a sensible thermal. It's a sensual thermal. This man looks like he should be on the cover of a late 70s adult contemporary fuck album. He is so handsome right here. Why is he this sexy?
James, I don't want to get canceled for my thermal takes again, but I can't be silent. If you're wearing a thermal and your nips are still covered, it's not sensual. It's just sensible. If we don't see nips in the thermal, I can't give you sensual points. I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
Covered up is sensual. Exposed is sexual.
I don't know the difference, and I refuse to learn.
We tried figuring out the difference on This Movie's Gay many times because it was also erotic, and there was there were multiple things that were like, well, wait, so like, what's the difference between sensual and sexual, but also erotic and one other word? I don't remember. Go listen to that podcast. Still getting more plays, no episodes in 2 years than this show here.
And it's my favorite fact to hear every week. Vampiro is also very pumped for the main event tonight. Prince Puma versus Pentagon Jr. They've been building this frenemies type of situation recently. Not even frenemies. Really, it's we want the same thing, but we also want it at the same time. We both want to overcome Mil Muertes, but we individually want to be the person to do it. Yeah. So Penta and Puma coming to head tonight in the main. Vampiro's stoked. I'm stoked. Let's get into this first match. The Trios Contender match. Odd Throuple versus the Iron Claws. Chavo Guerrero Jr. with an undercover cop and Mr. Cisco. Yeah! That's right. Chavo's the crew.
Man, Chavo's back and I'm so excited. I love Chavo.
You love the Rock TV show. I forget what it's called.
Okay, he's become like a class act as of recently, and he's doing it as someone who is getting up there in age, or we can even take age out of that. Someone who has been wrestling if you've been wrestling for 30 years, it's either you keep wrestling for 30 years or you find another job. And he found another job still in the same field, probably getting paid more money than he would be just wrestling.
I'm absolutely sure. And it's like, and he's been doing it for like Chavo's great. We shat on Chavo in season 1.
Okay. We shat in his duffel bag in season 1, but that was all kayfabe. We knew he was a great wrestler.
He's a great wrestler, and like has been the go-to guy for. I'm so excited about the Iron Claw. I don't know if you've seen anything of that movie.
Yeah,
Zac Efron and Sad Chef from The Bear, but they're the saddest wrestling story in the history of professional wrestling. The fucking Von Erichs is going to be so good, and Chavo's of course directly involved in that. We've talked about Glow. We've talked about Young Rock. The TV show was Young Rock.
Is their story more sad than that kid when he noticed that it wasn't Jeff Hardy, it was CM Punk dressed up as Jeff Hardy? I've shown you this GIF so many times.
You have. No, I know the moment. James, would you believe? Well, I don't know. Would you call losing all of your sons to just suicide and overdose? And then also, but like not giving them a day off still? Being like, wow, it's a shame your brother died. You got to go wrestle in Tennessee tonight.
Damn.
The Von Erichs are a real fucked story.
Oh, I wonder if it'll be Oscar nominated.
I don't know.
It will, because it's about that bullshit. They're like, oh yeah, it's about fucking people having tragedy. Give it an Oscar.
Yeah. But meanwhile, my fan film about
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting cancer and dying.
Oh, yeah. I love that one. And he just went to the death realm.
We go to the Shadow Realm, and then you die in the Shadow Realm because the tumor is still inoperable. This is sad. But also, shouts out to the Iron Claw. I don't know. Shouts out to the sad stuff. We don't need to give them all the Oscars, but I do love feeling sad sometimes.
If Paw Patrol the movie doesn't get Best Picture, I riot.
What are we doing here? I'm joining you. I'm out there. I'm out there holding your hand at a Molotov cocktail because I have 2 of them.
And I hope when we riot, who brings us into the precinct? The goddamn Paw Patrol.
Hell yeah, not this fucking undercover cop, goddamn Reyes. We'll touch on it. Yeah, real quick. We found out last week that Castro Cortez, the shirtless member of the crew, has been an undercover cop this whole time, chasing down Dario Cueto. Yeah, and Mr. Cisco doesn't know. So, oh no.
I feel so sad for the day that he finds this out. He thinks he had true connection.
I'm like, actually, though, I don't know if you're being ironic or not. I'm very sad. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I'm being ironic right now. No, I'm being sarcastic.
Or sarcastic. I don't know what words mean.
You felt sad when your best friend was an undercover cop. Isn't that ironic?
Yes,
hey guys,
who fucking got you, 90s alternative?
Real quick, I'm having a terrible day/week, and the high's getting here. I needed to do drugs to feel okay. I have a problem. I'm kidding.
Yeah. And I am here as well. I feel so... We're not gonna get deep into it. Just that's the best intro before we started recording. James is admitting, and because we want to touch base, like, hey, it's gonna be a weird recording. I'm not feeling great. I'm just like, oh, James, me too.
But we're doing good. We thrive in pain.
Yeah, yo, just like Vampiro thrives in watching others pained. He praises Chavo for not being afraid to fight like a coward, a maestro of hiring mercenaries to hide behind. Like, which is such a, if the backhanded compliment is an art form, Vampiro with that line, his description of Chavo, chef's fucking kiss. Send this compliments to you.
Also, it feels like in between seasons, Mr. Sisko's dad invested in the company, because all of a sudden Stryker is just gassing him up, calling him specifically the dangerous one, making him seem larger than life, of just, I'm ready to maul people with my fists.
I think he says that. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. I feel like he said that because he's actually like kind of dangerous to work with. We've seen enough Sisko in season 1 that some of those Sisko spots were straight up scary.
Yes,
like not fun. Like, oh, this is good wrestling. Like, oh no.
Okay, we've already talked about this, but I think between this season and what I saw in this match, they are leaps and bounds better. They're doing great.
I don't know. I'm still a little worried about Sisko. Those even the opening arm drags. I get he was trying to kind of sandbag Angelico, but like he lands on his head like scary style.
Oh, he's sandbagging because he is dirt. That's his style. That's what he's bringing to the table. And what does Angelico, what kind of style does he bring? Height.
Fuck. Oh, okay.
It's a height versus dirt match.
That's true. And Angelico, but those arm drags are fucking beautiful. Sisko's shoulder is mush when Ivelisse and Castro tag in. Ivelisse knees the cop's head for the first pin attempt, but Chavo's got like a minute of heat connived before Son of Havoc can tag in to stop Sisko. Castro distracts the ref so Chavo can cheat. The crew hit their corner offense, the treatment, which still looks dope as hell. Love the treatment.
Yeah, and when Chavo like knocks someone off the apron, Vampiro and Stryker have been saying, you want to know, there's the Guerrero way, this and that. They've been talking about how he acts in the ring sometimes. And when when the referee isn't looking and he punches someone, both of them go, there it is. Yeah, hell yeah. There it is. We were waiting for it. He's cheating. It was so fun. Like, that was pure comedy gold.
Yeah. It's anytime you get to a situation and you kind of like know your characters. Characters is such a dirty word because you can also refer to this. This is how friend groups get real tight. When you have that moment and you're just like, oh man, there is James high on top of the water tower again, shouting praise to his twisted gods. There he is. There he is. It's like it feels comfortable, it feels cozy, and it's fucking funny because we immediately see it too. Like they've spent such a good job. And Chavo with the crew, I was worried about it. It's fucking great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm really Chavo and the crew is boy band of the year. No questions asked. Son of Havoc, this fucking...
I was just going to say, I had a dream that I was hanging out with the Spice Girls last night because you said boy band. Please move on.
There he is. There he is. The Son of Havoc Superman dive for the hot tag. Did you catch that?
Son of Havoc, yeah, that's my next note. But it's also from a front flip he does that. It was so cool. This is entertainment, baby.
He's so fucking cool. Like his whole comeback, and he's fighting off. He doesn't get a lot of doesn't get to do a lot of offense because shouts out to Chavo. He knows how to utilize the numbers against someone. He knows how to cheat. But the way he slips, he slides, he gets out of there, front flip off the top rope, rolls, and this fucking Superman dive is, oh my God. So good. Hot tag to Angelico, who comes in like the fucking Ultimate Warrior, but with better knees. Triple tope Gongiro by the Odd Thruple. Angelico throws Castro back into the ring. Apron to springboard flying knee, followed by the top rope double stomp. Angelico pins Castro in 5 minutes, 55 seconds. Chef's fucking kiss. God, we love the Odd Thruple over here. Post-match, Chavo's got his shit on the crew for losing.
I wanted to say that the Odd Thruple now are a well-oiled machine, and no, I'm not talking about Cage after eating a bunch of hoagies.
Well done. No, and we talked, like, truly there were so many reasons I this is quickly becoming my favorite wrestling show, but how they handled Ivelisse winning that triple threat match and then going on to fight Mill. And them not imploding, them being like, fuck, man, you know what, Ivelisse, we got your back. Hell, maybe it's because I've been watching for too long. It's something so simple that means so much to me. I cannot point out like that's what wrestling should be about. Don't trust anyone if they ever tell you this is what wrestling should be. It should be everything, but it should be able telling that story, telling like that side of relationships. It's so powerful and it's so good. And fuck the odd throuple and their hoagie ass eating ways.
It can be that. It can be death match wrestling, and it can be a turkey hatching over the course of a few months.
It sure can be. It absolutely can be. Fucking there. I'm so excited to see this story, and they have so many stories now. They have to still get the trios title back. Ivelisse and Katrina is a fucking feud right now. The one thing before we move on, I guess like my one gripe is, they don't have a name and you hear it in the chants and it does feel unbalanced. Ivelisse gets, like on their way to the ring, Ivelisse gets chants and Helico poses, he gets chants. And by the time they're all in there, Son of Havoc really didn't get a whole lot of chants. And like, of course they didn't. Those are 3 names, so many syllables. But like, that's probably why there should be a team name somewhere. Because it's they're doing great and they're all amazing to share the spotlight with each other. But it's even just that little thing that's like that could be avoided with a team name.
This would be a good name, Shia. It's Son of Havoc. Okay. That's the S and the H, then Ivelisse and Angelico. Shia.
Okay, yeah. Or no, I was gonna say Ico, but that's too much. That might be too much Angelico. Shia. Hell yeah.
Because I'm just taking the first letters of each name.
Yeah. I thought you were going for a She-Ra thing, but that you didn't have an R in there. So I don't know where I got that. I don't know. All right, fine. Well, She-Ra's not in this episode either. But Chavo's still in the ring. He's shitting on the crew for losing. No mic. He's literally just wasting TV time. It's like, you could do this in the back, Chavo. There's no reason for this. However, Tejano is for the workers, baby. Tejano storms the ring, tries to get back at Chavo, who, of course, just mugged him at Ultima Lucha. He tries to get at Chavo. Chavo literally throws the crew into Tejano to escape. They're fucking battered even more than they already are. Chavo gets the hell out of Dodge, and Tejano, his thirst is not quenched quite yet. But is it coming?
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
Man, I love Tejano. He's so cool.
So fucking cool, man. Blue collar Tejano.
The fact that they tried making him heel from the get-go, so stupid.
Yo, man. It sucks so much that Alberto leaves and then Joey Ryan comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Ryan sucks.
Yeah, I started reading up more about him and I'm like, wow, man, he really sucks.
Thank you, because he's not a good person.
No.
And it's like, as soon as Alberto leaves, and it's like, finally, we got a really cool, healthy, who did you hire? Oh, no.
I hope he wins his lawsuit against Impact, though, I'm kidding. Wait,
I didn't even realize he had a lawsuit against Impact.
Yeah,
was it for releasing him?
Yeah.
Fuck off, man. Impact kicks ass, dude. You suck beans.
They're going back to TNA, aren't they?
TNA.
Tits and alliances. That's a new Dungeons and Dragons thing. It's horny Dungeons and Dragons.
May I form an alliance with your tits? I don't know what voice that started as, and I don't know where it ended. I'm scared.
It also is weird because it somehow throughout the entire time clipped the mic, I think.
Probably.
Unless you had some Jolly Rancher rappers crinkling in the background.
That's how I record. Yeah,
okay.
that's how I muffle this sound so it doesn't reverberate off the walls. I have a Jolly Rancher wrapper behind the mic I crinkle.
All right. Did you know you can make a microphone out of a bubblegum wrapper?
Is that a fact?
Yeah, that's a fact. Moving on.
Yo, some more. Well, Johnny Mundo's got some facts for us from his own personal dojo. Very sexy Johnny Mundo here. Very Hollywooded out. And he's going to tell us fact. He's the biggest star in Lucha Underground, but has not been treated like the star he is. Fact. He should be the Lucha Underground champion. Fact. Johnny takes what Johnny wants, and Johnny wants the title. Fact. There's a big dumb idiot in his way, and that big dumb idiot's name is a machine. He literally calls him big dumb idiot. That's not editorializing. The words big dumb idiot have been used on television by Johnny Mundo.
Sean, you missed so many facts.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this segment.
Real quick, he was in the opening match of the Aztec Warfare, no Ultima Lucha, and he put on a 5-star match. You don't do that to people who are this best of athletes. He's a main event guy, and he stole the show, brothers.
It's a good promo.
He takes what he wants.
I said that one.
Oh, okay. Cage isn't a real machine.
I missed that one.
And he's the man.
Okay, now we can't. We've talked about dragons and how real or not real they are. We cannot relitigate this, Johnny. We cannot relitigate what is reality anymore.
Oh, but it is his reality because this is his world.
Everyone else is just living in it.
Oh,
it's a great segment. It just doesn't get a lot of. It builds what's already there more than creating new information. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Speaking of new information, Officer Reyes, a.k.a. Castro, is nursing his losses in the locker room when Joey fucking Ryan gives Castro shit for losing. Literally, I couldn't make a lot of sense. It felt like he was antagonizing just for the sake of antagonizing. Mm-hmm. Because these are scripted and because they are treating it like a television show, I want to kind of critique it like that. And I don't know what the motivation for Joey was to be a piece of shit here.
I've been what word did you say?
Antagonize? Yeah.
I've been antagonized just for the sake of being antagonized by a police officer. So it makes sense.
That's fair. You know what? ACAB, baby.
It's just machismo. And I just real quick, it was, I was driving home one day and I lived on like a dirt road and like every single turn I made, this car kept following me. And I kept turning, and I was like, well, I can't go home. This person is going to murder me. I turned onto a different street and just kept looping around and eventually lost them. And then I saw the car. Guess who it was? It was a police officer.
Fucking A. Yeah, dude. Cops suck. Hot take.
If I had the balls of today, I would have flagged him down and been like, hey, I thought you were going to murder me. I did not see your lights or anything. This was bad. Give me your badge, not your number. I'm the cop now.
Yeah.
And I get to chase you around.
Yeah, and then I'll be your police dog who gets addicted to cocaine.
And I have the Clock Stoppers watch, Time Stoppers, you know, that movie.
Yeah.
In the middle of our conversation, I stopped time and tied his shoes together and then unstopped it. So when I say, but we're not going to chase in a car, I'm going to chase you like a cat and mouse. And then he tries to run and just face plants, and I pull his pants down to show his boxers, and then I take a pic of it and I say, I'm gonna post this on a home wrecker.
Yeah. And I am licking myself because I am the dog.
Yeah, this dude was just saying, I'm a better cop, bro, flagrantly talking out in the open locker room.
Yeah, like he has to be reminded not to call him Reyes because nobody knows what their real names are. Mm-hmm. Like he is the bad, arrogant police officer. Where Castro is, I don't know, he's still a cop, but at least he's trying, you know? I don't know, but Joey Ryan promises that he's no loser. His first match is next, and he promises to make short work of his opponent. But who would that opponent be? Probably some real geek, I bet, if he's going to make such short work of him.
A geek with pumping blood in his veins. Red blood.
320 pounds, 2% body fat, just a normal guy that is not even a man. He is a machine. It's Cage. Yeah.
He's got oil in his blood.
Yeah, and that's not from hoagies. That's from hard fucking work. Who better than Cage?
Also, not like greasy oil. We're talking literal machine oil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I want to be very clear. Yeah, he could be eating hoagies, but no, that's machine oil, daddy. I guess I could have gone back and watched. Cage, I don't know if he debuts it here, but he hits the line, "Who better than Cage?" which is a shout out to his mentor and his fallen friend, Chris Canyon from WCW. And he still does it to this day because Canyon's catchphrase was, "Who better than Canyon?" And if you, first of all, would recommend the Canyon episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Really, hey, what would you look at that? Another tragic story behind the scenes of professional wrestling. But like a very innovative guy, especially in this like SoCal region. Cage owes a lot, credits a lot to Canyon. The Young Bucks credit a lot of their career to Canyon. Like a good dude. So it was cool to see that shout out of Cage using his catchphrase there. I try not to take a bunch of notes because Joey Ryan was in this match.
Yeah, my first note was I hope Cage reigns this cocky ass cop. I think I said reigns. I don't know what else this word could have been. But also, we find out that I don't know why this was brought up, but Stryker lets us know that Vamp's tattoos are real, not a fad.
Oh, because Matt Stryker's introduction to Cage this week was weird. They're talking about Joey Ryan, and he has this gimmick, and it's like, oh, he's a creep He's a creep. That's kind of his gimmick. Turns out it wasn't a gimmick. That's just who he was. But his gimmick, like even before this, like on the indies, his gimmick was always he's kind of just a creep. I mean, he's like not like this guy. He's just a normal guy, which is then my favorite Vampiro line. Yeah, he's a normal guy. All 320 pounds and 2% body fat of him.
Hell yeah.
Like clearly not a normal guy, but like, yeah, but he's like talking about, he doesn't have all these fake tattoos, and he's, because Cage doesn't really have any tattoos. And Vampiro's like, what the fuck, man? You're sitting next, I'm covered in tattoos. This tattoo is looking at you right now, Matt Stryker. Why would you say this?
Yeah, Jake or Jack Jekyll is currently staring you in the face.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, what is it, Juggalo? I don't know. But Vampiro's gonna fuck you up like Cage. I kind of wish this was more. I'm surprised they let Joey Ryan get as much offense in. This was a lot more even than I kind of wish it was.
I mean, even though we don't like the dude, I like a wrestling match that isn't super one-sided, unless it's Goldberg taking down Lesnar.
I think there's a time and a place for everything. Normally, like 90%, 99% of the time, I agree with you. But when the story is, I don't respect, this guy's coming in brand new to the temple, doesn't really respect what's going on. We saw that in the Castro scene, that he doesn't respect the temple. He thinks he can walk in and just do it. And then they let him just kind of walk in and do it. That feels weird to me.
This is so Tekken.
How so?
I think we'd maybe discuss this. The undercover cop, this is Sonya Blade and who's the guy? Jax.
Sonya Blade and Jax.
In Tekken, this is like not martial law.
Lei Wulong.
Yeah. There's always an undercover cop in all of these fighting rings.
Yeah. And they did such a good job of like they made me care about a cop in Castro.
Yeah.
That's hard. Cops suck. That's hard to do. And I think they cut themselves short by not making the other cop, the shitty cop, at least in his first match. He doesn't always have to, but like in his first match against Cage, I mean, the match only goes for 4 minutes, 7 seconds. And it is the story of, and Joey's a weird character because he is incredibly influential. That's why he ended up, one of the reasons he got away with so much evil shit, we won't get deep into it, but Google it, is because he was a very influential figure in the SoCal wrestling scene. And this is PWG SoCal wrestling scene. This is a kind of a, like, as much as WWE has this chokehold on the industry, a lot is happening in this area. And a lot of it's happening around Joey Ryan. So maybe that was it. But then they shouldn't have given him, then they shouldn't have given him this character who doesn't respect the temple. Because like, I don't know. I'm not going to get deep into it. It's only a 4-minute match. Screwdriver, pile driver, fucking Scott Steiner style. Joey Ryan is dead.
He ain't coming up from that.
Thank God.
And then, he's dead.
He's just dead. And Meanwhile, Johnny Mundo in the nice pinks jumps a celebrating Cage from behind and says, and I quote, "Welcome to Slamtown, bitch." Facts. Cage blocks the fin de mundo, counters Johnny's springboard with a spine buster. Drill Claw Town, bitch. They give Cage a mic. He's got to let Johnny know that they, the Temple, the Faithful, are calling him Cage because he's not a man. He's a machine. This saved this match so much for me because Cage should look like a million, especially they're giving this babyface push now. They're letting the crowds cheer for him because how do you see this 320-pound, 2% body fat machine and not cheer for him? I'm glad they gave him this post jump where he could get advantage and look powerful because, God, he's cool.
Yeah, when I screamed Cage, man. When he catches Mundo mid-air and then just lays him out, it's so good.
Fuck, that's just Cage, man. He can do, Cage matches are so cool because he just does shit that's not human, but makes it look amazing every time.
Opposed to Cage matches, which are kind of just restrictive.
Hey, come on now.
So, this is the question I want to know as this feud is going to start picking up. Who do you want to see win it out?
I mean, that's hard.
I know.
I will cheer for Johnny Mundo because I love Johnny Mundo. I think, we talked about before this podcast and rewatching Lucha Underground. Put Johnny Mundo in my personal top 5. That being said, that's who I'm cheering for. Either could win, and I wouldn't be very mad. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's one of those, I just hope everyone has a good time.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
This is who I hope wins. Us,
Please.
The audience.
Aww. You know how I win, James? Getting to do this podcast with you every week. Aww. Does it work if I go?
You.
I know. Does it work if I daw my own sentence?
Yeah, it works. It's fine. Right. I pitch tune you sometimes, so it'll sound like 100 high pitched boys.
Which is, yes, we record every podcast in front of the Chicago Young Boys Choir.
You can just say boys choir. You don't need to say young boys.
I forgot what it was called and I panicked.
You could just say the youth choir.
Yeah, non-church affiliated. These are juggalos. Let's be very clear. This is a young boy juggalo choir. Hey, you want to go to a nameless dive dojo?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. Hey, look at that. It's Rey Mysterio training the new Dragon Azteca for war. Dragon Azteca at the last Ultima Lucha went into the temple, tried to save Black Lotus, who betrayed him and murdered him with her punch to the back of his chest.
He freaking died. Sean, this reminds me.
Dead.
On Reddit, there is a post thread cataloging how many people died in Lucha Underground. It's a kill count for Lucha Underground.
How many? I think we only have 2 right now.
I think it's only right? 2, yeah. But that means there's so many more.
Let's go. Man, if fucking... All right, well, do you want to pretend that Alberto died? Would that help?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, okay. So Alberto, the original Dragon Azteca, and fuck R.I.P. Bale. That shot still fucks with me. If you forget Bale, his head was eaten by Dario Cueto's brother, who we're gonna find a little bit more out.
Oh, also, so everyone knows how Alberto passed away in storyline is after season 1, they were greenlit for season 2. That means we're in season 2. We're being nice to Chavo. I guess he didn't get the message. He was shitting in Chavo's bag, but it was a little runny, so it was diarrhea. And when he went to pull up and walk away, he slipped on his own shit and just clipped the side of a locker.
Now, are we nice to Chavo and we stopped shitting in his bag, or did we start being nice to Chavo because Alberto died shitting? Who's to say?
Oh man, we're making canon, baby.
Yeah. Speaking of canon, this is a huge lore dump, and I love it. I super love this.
And I have a theory after you're done.
All right, then I'll break it down. Mysterio, and this is the new Dragon Azteca. Someone else has donned the mask. Mysterio asks him to remember your mentor, the original Dragon Azteca. And he breaks down what what Dario is. The first time we really hear what Dario wants and what he is. 25 years ago, Dario Cueto's father came to Mexico and met the original Dragon Azteca. They formed a partnership to find the descendants of the 7 Aztec tribes, to let them do battle again. But Senor Cueto became obsessed with the dark side of this legend, with appeasing the old gods, making sacrifices. Some say he even sacrificed his own son to let a god inhabit his body. The monster, Matanza Cueto. The guy who he fucking ate Bale's face.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to get off topic, but he ate a man's face.
I thought it was whole head.
It probably was his whole head. The face was in there, but you're right. It was the whole ass head. There was skull and hair. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Dario Cueto Sr. is kind of on some shit. The two parted ways. They signed a treaty agreeing not to step foot into the other's domain. But Cueto sealed that treaty with dark magic, which is what that prophecy was when they were saying Dragon Azteca can't go into the temple or he'll die. That was the prophecy. It was this treaty sealed with dark magic. So what are we looking for now? Like, what are we doing here now? This side of things, the good guy side, we're looking to find a way to unite the 7 Aztec tribes. It's the fact that all this is being delivered by Rey fucking Mysterio, who is killing it. Great. He's got he's got the gravitas of a grizzled veteran who's been around and has seen some shit. Like a lot of other characters, this would feel like a lore dump. If coming from Mysterio, this feels like wisdom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So good. So good. And how, like, everything I do, we now know so much. We know intentions. We know we know just enough of what's going on. What does Dario want? Why was this temple created? But we still know so little. Like, just enough for us to keep coming back for more. And again, and I cannot stress this enough, all delivered by Rey fucking Mysterio. 10 out of 10.
Do you remember exactly how Mill died? Was it an earthquake or what? Did the building just collapse?
It was an earthquake. Okay. The building collapsed on him in an earthquake.
I think somehow Dario Sr. triggered that earthquake. It just seems like a cool thing that the reason why Mill died, he was a sacrifice to the gods.
Oh, I buy that a lot.
What if Katrina's a god?
That, ooh.
And like, she's like, oh yeah, then I will inhabit his body with a demon known as Mil Muertes. And like, yeah, man, that would be really cool.
She Matanza'd him. That makes total sense. I was going to say, because a big part of this too is blood, is the descendants of the 7 Aztec tribes. And Dario is not. We know for certain that Cueto does not come from Mexico. He is not a descendant of the 7 tribes. Very curious. Either Mill was a descendant. So like, instead of like Dario using his descendant because he doesn't have any powers, he sort of like sparked the power inside Mill, who could not control it, and that's what caused the earthquake.
Yeah.
The sparking of the power of the there's so much happening.
Or maybe it was just a tragedy. Oh man.
Probably just, probably.
If we had a third person on this podcast, if Nicole were here just to move it along, she would go, or maybe it was just a tragedy, guys. Can we please move to the next match?
Hey, November 30th, the Darling Homebody Sale-a-thon.
Yeah.
Fucking gonna be huge. Get through. Make sure you come through. Darling Homebody.
$1,000. We need it, baby.
Get it to him.
Oh, also, the details were at the beginning of this episode if it's before November 30th.
Hell yeah. And the details of this next match are coming now. It is the main event. Pentagon Jr. versus Prince Puma. We kind of got into it a little bit why they're fighting beforehand. Again, they were both two warriors willing to put it all on the line to be the top of the mountain, to fight Mil Muertes. They have a common enemy, which united them in the previous couple of weeks, but eventually there can only be one Highlander. Let's fucking go. Yeah. This is just a good match. Just a real solid match. Would recommend. And it's so interesting knowing where everyone goes. Puma becoming, aka Ricochet, going to the WWE. And beforehand being this sort of like indie darling from America, traveling to Japan, traveling all over the world, getting this contract, like versus Pentagon Jr., born and raised in Mexico, did not come from a lucha libre family. Him and his brother like really clawed their ways to become some of the best in the world. To see them at this stage of their career, if you're like, I get kind of jazzed about just like interesting moments in artists' career who I like. And I think this is one of those just like really interesting moments.
So much so that is one of my gift giving techniques is if Sean, let's say, what's a band you're really into?
The Who.
Okay, so if I found The Who went by a different name before they became The Who, I forget the name of it.
Something Numbers.
The High Fives, wasn't it?
No, I think it is Numbers. The High Numbers, maybe?
All right. I just remember hearing this on...
High Fives is a great name for a band, by the way. We should start a band called The High Fives.
I could have swore it was The High Fives, but there was a band called The High Fives, and they changed it. Hold on.
Shit, that's a really good name for a band.
The Detours was the Who. So let's say you love The Who. I would find original Detours albums and give them to you, and you'd open and be like, what is this? And I'm like, that's The Who before they became The Who. You'd be like, oh, whoa, this is an interesting time in this artist's career.
Yeah, it's so, I don't know. It's one of the reasons I think the question, the whole separate the art from the artist is a very nuanced question, is because so much of the art we love comes from the artist. It comes from somewhere. And understanding that artist is very, to me, satisfying and fun. And you get some like really cool shit. I guarantee you if I got that album and I listened to some Detours tracks, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's why I love The Who. Right there. You can kind of see it emerging. And it's, again, I think satisfying to me is the best word for it. And it's weird, like they've been at it for a while, you know. I think this is post Japan Ricochet. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's post Dragon Gate. So he's been somewhat established before he put on that mask. It's wild. It's so wild. It's kind of the same thing we talk about when we're talking about Swerve, aka Killshot in this. Like it's so interesting, and seeing what Swerve is doing now on television, and seeing where he came from is so fucking cool. Or King Cuerno and Santos Escobar. It's satisfying. I have a lot of notes, but it's really just beat for beat because I couldn't stop writing about this match.
Yeah, I just have a couple.
How about, do you want to actually take these? Because I will go beat for beat, and it will not be an entertaining podcast. It'll just be me getting excited about move names.
Okay, first we get a little Easter egg. Is Puma a descendant of the Aztec gods?
I think they've always kind of played into it. But now that we have context for what it means to be a descendant in this temple, yeah, they like really had to like, oof, hey, remember.
And this, I think, is the first time it was specifically said by Stryker or someone saying, yeah, and we hear there's rumors that he might be a descendant.
I think Conan always kind of pushed it. I'm not sure if commentary did.
He started talking and I just clogged my ears full of hard cheese.
Come on, man. You want to see a tiger?
No, I don't want to see his tiger.
All right, more tiger for me then.
There's a part where Puma kicks like the back knee or the calf of Pentagon does that to Puma.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, this is some superhero type stuff because he kicks him and he does a full backflip. Like, oh, I was hit so hard, I do a full rotation.
Puma's a fucking menace. I mean, I don't know if he coined it or if it was either him or Osprey, or they kind of coined that he sort of does a handspring. Then Puma does this, jumps, backflips in the air, and then lands on one knee. That got coined as the superhero pose. Right? It's just, dude is a straight up superhero. And then Pentagon literally just kicks him in the ass sometimes. There's one moment Puma's trying to run away and Penta's just like boots him in the fucking ass. It's fucking great.
So in the beginning of this match, it's very Penta forward, and so much so that Vampiro starts getting upset, saying he's going back to his old ways. He's just trying to cause pain.
Not pin, not go for the win.
Yeah, the poetry is beautiful, but he's not putting the period to finish it.
That I wrote that down too. Fucking perfect. Shouts out to them, the wrestlers, for telling that story, and for Vampiro for creating just the words to make it so flowery, the metaphor to make it very beautiful, but to also be very to the point. The poetry is beautiful, but he's not putting the period to finish it.
I would punch this up a little bit just to clean it up. The poetry is beautiful, but there's no punctuation.
That also works, yeah. But the fact, because Vampiro's kind of old school, I don't know if he wrote that down. He might have. Yeah. Like the show is the show is very scripted. They're approaching it very television, so he might have certain things they want him to hit. But he's also very old school. He might just have that in his back pocket.
My guess is I was thinking this is something he heard a boxer announcer write.
Maybe.
Because that felt like something. It was too classy to be wrestling.
God, but it's so good. And that's like, I don't know. That is what I love about wrestling. Mm-hmm. I love that. That is the story. The poetry is beautiful, but he's not putting the punctuation to finish it.
And then my last note is how this ends. So if you want to like set up the like last couple beats.
Sure. Penta is looking for his package pile driver, but Puma flips out. Roundhouse kick, 450 splash. Penta lifts the knees, small packages. They're throwing, these are bombs. They're just throwing everything at the wall right now. Second package pile driver, this time hits. But instead of going for the pin, he's used that as a finisher. Why wouldn't you put the punctuation on? Penta wants a surfboard stretch instead. He pulls Puma's head down. Both men's shoulders are on the mat as the ref counts. But Puma lifts on two, just like hitting a full-on bridge, leaving only Penta's shoulders on the mat by 3. Puma steals the win, 7 minutes, 54 seconds.
Guys, Puma has finally achieved, as I want all wrestlers to do, scamp status.
Yes!
I had to rewind that. I'm like, wait, what's going on? I was like, oh, because Penta, I knew Puma's shoulders lifted off. I'm like, wait, why did it go to 3? Like that doesn't, his shoulders were off. But then I'm like, oh, Penta's the one who lost.
Yeah. And it's the same sort of thing. He could have pinned him after the package, but he wanted more beauty in destruction. He wanted to really stretch his ass out. After the match, Penta, as you may have guessed, doesn't like this shit. Fucking super kicks the ref to hell. Tries to hit Puma, but Puma enziguris his skull in. Ties up Penta's arm in his own sacrifice arm breaker, whispers into Penta's ear, then chooses to let go. Vampiro needs a hug, Bill needs to take a seat, I need some wet wipes, this match was a banger. Love it.
Have we heard Puma talk yet?
No, we were going to hear him talk, and then he fought Mill instead.
It would have been very, very funny. The whisper happens, and then Vampiro's like, wait, he can talk? So he's just been being a douchebag to me. I assumed he was mute.
Vampiro taking this very personally. After the match, we cut to the halls of the temple to a stumbling and terrified sexy star is running from something. She bumps into the Mac, who wants to know who did this to you. Sexy says, Moth. Mac says, Moth? I'll kill him. Not him. Her. Sexy Star points somewhere off screen. Mac sees something that makes him go, whoa. And we fade out. Ooh, the suspense.
What is happening here? Is it just Marty in a wig?
Full Psycho style?
Yes,
like Norman Bates, Marty the Moth?
That's what I think is going to happen.
Marty the Moth is a fucking murderer. I want everyone to be very careful if you see this moth outdoors. Don't leave your lights on, okay? Are moths attracted to honey? Just in case, cover your honey jars, because Marty the Moth and whoever this other moth is are going to kill us all.
I just want to know, like, what's the next one? The machine battles, returns. I just need to know when do we find this out?
Oh man, I don't know. But I'm like I'm on for the ride. I don't give a shit. Make me wait until season 4. I don't give a shit. Just make all the steps exciting as this one. Because this is a great, if you're someone who's like, I just want good storytelling, this is fucking 10 out of 10 shit for you right here.
Oh, baby.
And if you want some good fart jokes, swing on over to twitch.tv/Goose Von Kaiser. Watch me struggle while I play Dark Souls, or watch stand-up clips. I don't know. We'll hang out. I love you. Bye-bye.
And this dude hates stand-up.
Yeah, it's the worst. I'm going to run to the restroom while you do your plugs.
Hey guys, listen to my music under Marshland Monster. Just put out a beautiful drum and bass, intelligent jungle style, chill, relaxing instrumental. I'm high now, so I just can't keep coming up with descriptors. It's an EP, an album, Head to Focus. It's great. It's available wherever music is found. Check that out. Have a new single coming out with Dragon Boy Suede called Critters Pay for Loads. Hoping to have that end of December. Yay, yay. And then listen to my other podcasts like Mostly Speaking Sentai. On this feed, listen to Death to Squids. It's Jose and I doing some great stuff. And then check out all the other stuff. No, patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content every single Friday. And if you're a $10 patron, you get bonus exclusive content this year, or not this year. This month, we have Blades Giving. Joe and I from Hit It and Crit It will be watching the final Beyblade movie and talking about it. It's going to be great. But if you're a $10 patron, you get all of that stuff, the $5, the weekly stuff, the monthly stuff, and on every single free feed podcast, I give you a shout out. If you have like a business or a rap name, you go by a specific thing, or just your Instagram handle, I'll shout that out. And we announced $12 patrons will become our golden gander. So if you want to do that, I got to include that in the Patreon. I will actually put in the golden gander. Listen,
what is the golden gander?
It was said on Akiba Ranger, the Sentai show, and during our recording discussing it over on patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month, one of them gets a rich husband, and he's like, where did you bag this golden gander?
Yo.
And I was like, Nicole, we need a golden gander. It's just a $12 patron.
Also part of my plugs, as a goose, I am accepting sugar daddies. So golden ganders, sign up for that $12 Patreon and get in my DMs, dude.
And if we get to $600 a month, Sean and I do a podcast just like Wrestling and Insane Clown Posse. Well, this one's only like 6 episodes, so don't worry. It's Sanrio and Avril Lavigne.
Oh, no, I forgot I agreed to do this.
What one will you want to research more, Avril Lavigne or Sanrio characters?
I feel like there's less to Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
Like, that's just one Wikipedia article, you know?
Well, also, actually, who was the bigger Avril Lavigne fan?
I was a fan for a hot second in 8th grade. I can't say I got real deep after that.
In high school, I sampled every single song from her first 2 albums. I think I'm the bigger fan.
Yeah, all right. I guess I'm looking up Sanrio characters.
But a $10 patrons get shout-outs on every single free feed podcast, so let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z., The Waz Orion, Jordan B., The Chaos Witch, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua Jakis, Steve Barnes of Sweet Childhood Time, and Intro Void. My mother, she'll be in town this week. Lil Corey's BFF and now former roommate Shane, and will be in Pissmas this year again. Sean, respond to those messages.
Oh, yeah, I got a P for you.
That fed Lil Corwin. No, it's Corwin. Twitch.tv/Corwinning. And from Formulaic, a podcast and script writing, The Rom Complex. It's twitch.tv/R2Shelby2.
Hell yeah, the poetry is beautiful, but we got to put a punctuation onto this podcast. My name is Sean.
I'm James.
And this has been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Purple Prancer forever, y'all.
Yeah, I think you mean fuchsia panties.
All right, just say bye-bye.
How did I get that call back?
Just say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh,